today I present to you Mr. Mark Moses Foster.
Hi, morning everyone. I'm really glad that you guys are here, because if you're not here, I can't eat, so I'm glad to see the big numbers. The lights kind of dazzling, but try to stay focused. All right, I'm supposed to present on the history of SWAT, but I'm gonna just give you a brief synopsis of the history and more address the give you presentations that basically you can go away with. That will help you to keep focus while you're on the program, while you're on overseas, because a lot of problems happen from the part of students, shoplifting and stuff like that. So I want to make sure I impart from early this message to you guys to help you to avoid getting in certain situations, right? But just briefly, in 5 minutes, the history of SWAT. I myself went on the program in 2004, and I realized there were glitches in the system, because they told me X dollars at first, and then later on I had to pay Y, and then plane tickets. It was kind of jumbled. So I came up with a bright idea that I wanted to start a program for myself, like many other students. But actually I was lucky, because at that time, a sponsor was actually looking at agent locally. And I coincidentally met up with that person, and they helped me to start my program the third year that I was going on the program. So the third year I actually set myself on my own program, processed my own work permit and everything. And I did 26 other persons, Denise included, which you'll meet later on. And they trusted in me, because some of my closest friends thought I was going to run off with them money, so they never joined the first year. But these persons trusted in me, and we did a perfect program. Everybody got the visa. Everybody went up smoothly. It was a small amount of people. It was just perfect. And that set the standard for SWAT years to come. The second year, we improved from 27 persons to 184. So just in one season, everybody talking about this guy who started my program. I know it's flawless. And 184 students were in the second year. And each year I saw an increase of 100 students. To date, where we're now leveled off at about 500 students that we send up every summer, right? Based on last year's statistics, of the 500 students, about 24 or so had issues while they were there that stood out, because what you guys have to realize, every agency has persons that will have issues. No matter how hard we plan or how hard you plan, stuff will come up. What really sets an agent apart is how they deal with those issues. So of the 24 students, we resolved about 11 of the students' issues, about 12 of the students' issues. Reason being, the other 12 students, while they were having the issues, they never communicated to us while they were there. So it's very important when you're there, if you're going through hardships, call the agency, email us, don't just tell the sponsor alone. We wanted to communicate with the sponsor, because they're your overseas interface, but copy us on it. Because you pay us money, so we want to make sure the sponsor help you within a short period of time. Don't just call your parents and say this is happening and complain. We need to know, and trust me, we will act on it. Because I have a situation this summer of the 12 that we resolved. The student basically, they weren't getting shifts in the daytime. It was nighttime, and they had difficulty traveling home because bus stop runs certain time. So the girls never feel safe, and I told the sponsor within a week, the girls were still placed on the same late night shift. So the girls luckily called their parent and asked the parent to call me. And when the parent called me, I immediately called the overseas sponsor, tell them I complained about this a week ago, why these girls' shift don't change. They get a new schedule, they're still going there. I'm not going to let the girl go there at that shift tonight, because one of the girls had a shift that same night. So I told the sponsor, I went ahead and called the employer and said, listen, you have a girl on the schedule for a night shift. I explained last week to the sponsor, we don't want them working that late, and I'm not going to have the girl come. If the girl don't show up to work, don't fire her, because I gave her that directive not to go to work. Because I don't want she to go and something happen, and you hear that she complained to the agency about the late night shift, and we never did anything. So that's the proactiveness that we try to foster. Once you let us know what's going on, we will act on your behalf. but it's important for you to let us know. The other 12 persons, although they never let us know efficiently during the summer, we have a post check-in system where when you guys come in September, you'll have to tell us what happened. And based on what happens, we try to make sure that everyone goes away pleased about the program. So these 12 persons actually offered them special incentives for this year, although they never told us about what happened. I saw where they had some issues that were valid, and we resolved those issues. So all of this just to tell you that we don't leave nobody behind. We want everybody in SWAT to leave and can tell somebody else next year that they want to do the program, because that's how we make money. We have to have good reference. All right? So that's it for history. In terms of the CEO message, I want you guys to bear with me. It's just going to be 5-10 minutes with one main message, but I want to get you involved with the question, why do you think you're here on Earth? I'm going to ask polka dots, red top. Why do you think you're here on Earth? What's your purpose? To reproduce. Good answer, fair answer. Afro girl with a brown, with a brown skin. Why do you think you're here? What's your purpose? To make a difference. All right. Next slide. Psychiatrist Carl Jung said Jung's work on himself and his patients convinced him that life has a spiritual purpose beyond material goals. Our main task, he believes, is to discover and fulfill our deep innate potential. Hold it there. All right, that's okay. I just wanted to comment on Jung. To reach your deep innate potential, you basically, as the first line says, you have to know yourself. Right? So it's not about really just material. Yes, you want to reproduce, you want to do stuff, you want a nice car, a nice job. But how are you going to achieve all these stuff? You're not going to reach your full potential until you know yourself. And you need to know yourself on different levels. These levels are interpersonally, intrapersonally, and extrapersonally. Interpersonally is how you relate to other people, your parents, your family, friends, strangers. Right? In order to relate to people the best, you need to understand people. You need to know some sociology. Right? You can't, when somebody attack you with negativity, you're going to feed them back with negativity. Because that's just going to spur off in a fight or a curse or argument or probably death. You have to learn this person is a hothead, that person is a calm person. How am I going to relate to that person based on their personality? So spend your life trying to understand personality and keep yourself at peace with people. Because when you're over there living amongst, you're going to room with somebody. Because the program allows you 2 to 4 to a room. Sometimes you share a room with different beds. But you don't want to cross somebody's path and I hear that 2 persons fighting overseas. And you don't want to get fired. So try to develop that from now before you reach over there and get in a problem with your roommate. Right? How to resolve the situation. Your intrapersonal occurs or exists within the individual self or mind. Now, as for the shoplifting, that is intrapersonal. Because I'm sure when I read the slide later, the guy went into Walmart and the voice inside his head probably say, yeah man, take it up, the camera not see you. Right? But if he knew himself and loved himself and respect others and the institutions around him, he would have said, no, I'm not going to do this. Suppose there's a hidden camera, suppose something happened to me. My mother will embarrass. How am I going to answer to people? Jamaicans, them all look on Jamaicans as thief, but them don't look one way a lot of people already. You have to represent yourself, represent your family, represent SWAT. So inside your head, you need to overcome certain emotional, what I would say, temptations that might come on you. The shoplifting incident, this is an email from the student to the sponsor. He said he went to Walmart and was looking at some yogi cards and he remembered a friend taking one of the cards when he was at Walmart and getting away with it. So he's there thinking he got away. The manager with policeman car pull up at the bus stop and they took him straight to jail. Right? Just over some yogi card. Right? Now, this student had a follow-up email that was on the second part of the slide, where in retrospect, he was saying he's sorry to SWAT and he really don't know what came over him. And he apologized deeply. He's there lost and feeling very ashamed. And he's looking for a job now. And he has his court date next week. And he's just overwhelmed. You don't want to reach this situation. I'm sharing this story with you so that you can imagine if you did something, whether shoplifting, whether having sex with a minor, because that's another situation that happens to the guys that bring them to jail. Whether it is fighting and losing a job, or going home. One student went home and they had a cursing with the boss, and they went home and they wrote on Facebook, that fat bitch at work, she has issues. And the boss just happened to get the message because one of the co-workers was his friend on Facebook. And the guy got fired when he went to work the next day. Same remorse was shown. I apologize, SWAT. I don't know what came over me. It was stupid. But when the damage is done, the damage is done. Right? Every action you do, try to look in yourself before you do it and say, does this make sense? What is going to happen? What is the result of the action? Right? Because you're in America, you're in a distant country. You don't want to be in any situation where you have to go to jail or you lose your job. Because you spend too much and invest too much to be here. So you need to be on your P's and Q's. And it's very important. All right, the next slide was basically the parent. The parent emailed us. And I'm sure no parent wants to be in this situation. Parent emailed us and said, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over my son. He's stupid. She's going to make sure he goes to the court date. She's going to make sure whatever is brought out on him, he accepts it because he's wrong. The email went on to say, she's a member of the church. He's an active member of the church. He's a well, I don't want to give too much information to protect the student, but she don't know where they went wrong. Basically, that's what she was saying. And the same thing from the student mail. He don't know where he went wrong. Right? Now, I kind of know where they went wrong. Because I fall in that place and you fall in that place all the time. None of us are perfect. We're human. I'm not upset at him. Right? Because for him it might be stealing. For me it might be something else. But we all fall short. But the answer, what I think, to keep you on your toes is really to have a spiritual connection with God. It's very, very important. There's a scripture in the Bible, Romans 7, what answers to what the guy went through. And that's related to all of us. It's saying, for I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep doing. What a wretched man I am. Who will rescue me from this body that is subject to death? Thanks be to God who delivers me through Jesus Christ our Lord. So what Paul was saying is, in us, we want to do good. You don't really want to go overseas and shoplift and embarrass your mother. You want to go there, make money, come back, talk to your friends, have a good summer. But you don't know what come on to you. You see the yogi card, somebody got away with it, you went and take it. The devil came and tempt you, just like how he came and tempt Jesus. Jesus was successful and him running, but we aren't successful all the time. We're not as powerful as Jesus. Right? So, in this thing here, to overcome this challenge, what I do, I pray every morning before I leave out. And when I go in, I pray and reflect on the day and say what I did wrong, how I could do it different. You have to just keep focus day and night. Keep positive, keep righteous day and night. Try to always reflect on your day. Don't just live your day like a robot every day and you're just going deeper and deeper and wrong. Every day, try to just reflect. If you go to your bed at night, I guarantee you can remember everything that happened during the day, especially females. Because they call each other and tell everybody. Anyway, but I guarantee you can remember. Just spend 5 minutes, reflect on your day, say, I deal with my mother today. Me and her cuss. What went wrong? What led up to that? What was the source cause? Do I have something against her other than just the fact that she never did this for me or she said that? How can I react different? Try to always reassess yourself constantly, trying to make yourself a better person in how you're dealing with yourself, your institutions around you, and the people around you. And trust me, once you keep doing that, you'll definitely see yourself improve as a person. Right? The greatest commandment that Jesus has is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, which is the first commandment. And the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. So once you can focus, say you love God, you're not going to try to put yourself in certain situations to be sinful against Him. Right? The reason for this, once you stay focused and have that love in you, and not for God and for love for your neighbors, you're not going to see a girl come in a room and have attitude and you immediately try to attack her back with attitude. You have a deep love and say, this is my neighbor, she probably had a bad day at work. Let me just show her some kindness. Let me bring her a cup of water and say, what happened to you? You kind of look edgy, you know. You alright? And you will see immediately she turn around. Because she will be shocked and say, look how I come at them with this attitude and they just come with this love. And they're not going to continue the attitude. It's going to be more likely they'll turn around. You and them live a better summer. Rather than you reflecting the negative energy they brought into the room. Right? So, the main message I want to bring across is just keep a connection, a spiritual connection with God. Right? Once you show love to God and show love to your neighbors and always think as that in your background, you'll relate to people, you'll relate to the institutions around you much differently. Right? I'm not perfect. I have this message, but I still make mistakes. I still get in problems with people, still face it sometimes. But I try to always make up for when I did something wrong. Don't make it pass after the end of the day and you don't say you're sorry or try to make up for what you did wrong or try to see how you can do things differently. Right? Because scientists say basically we're subconscious and conscious. The conscious mind of me that know these things are what Paul talk about, that know what is good. It's always overcome by the subconscious, which is the evil part, which end up always just doing instincts. Somebody attack who you feel for attack them back. Right? It takes time to overcome that subconscious learning that we have and that natural instinct we have to do what is wrong all the time, to control those emotions. It takes a while. So that's it. Without further ado, thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of the seminar.